Hello everyone, myself Nishitha, Assistant Professor, Department of CSIT, working at MLR Institute of Technology. In previous sessions, we have seen about what is a file system and what are the different attributes and operations of a file, and next what are file attributes, file directories. So in this session, we are going to see about file directories. So what are file directories and different types of file directories. So let us see the overview of this presentation. So file directories. So nothing but we are going to see about types of file directories and file allocation methods. So let us see the first types of file directories. So first type of file directory is single level directory. So single level directory, it's nothing but the name itself says that it consists single directory and single file for each file or folder. So in this single directory, it is maintained for all the users. So it is maintained for all the users to create a single level of directory. So what are the naming problem and grouping problem for this single level directories? Let us see. So users cannot have the same name for two files. So what is the main condition here? The users cannot have the same name for two files. So what is the grouping problem? Users cannot group files according to their needs. So according to their needs, the grouping files cannot be done. So because the grouping should be done based on the different files of different needs for each file, and the naming problem is no two files should have same name. So if it is having the same name, it says already existing with the same name, you need to create the new file or rename with another file name. So naming the two different names should be naming should be different, and grouping according to the according to the needs of this each file should be different. So let us see the diagram. So first here single directory and single files. So it consists some cat, xkcd, a, dtr, ims, trs, dog, imp, sos. These are all our directories. For all directories, it consists of only one file. So it is consisting only one file. Why? Because the name itself says that it is a single level directory. So for every single directory, it consists of only single file. That is what about single level directory. For each level of directory, it consists only single directory and each consists of single file. That is what single level directory. Next, two level directory. In these directories, for each user, it is maintained. So it is used in this separate directories for each user is maintained. Means it consists of two levels of directories and remaining is files. Path name. Due to two levels, there is a path name for every file to locate that file. So two levels. So this is one level and this is one level. So this is level 1 and this is level 2. So these two levels are directory levels. So two levels, there is a path name for every file to locate that file. So for every file name, we are locating with some file. Now we can have the same file name for different users. So same file name we can use for different users. So for user 1, let us see the searching is efficient in this method. So searching is very efficient in this method. Why? Because we need to search so and so file in that effective manner to check whether the file is existing or not. So let us see how we are going to check the two level directory. So this is master file directory and it is user file directory. These are files. These are all files. These are directories and these are directories. So for user 1, see, it is consisting of three directories: dog, xkdd and a. And this consists of only single files. For every directory is having some single files. Whereas again user 2, DTR, A, TRS. So here the same names can be exist. Why? Because it is for user 1 already A, it is having the same name. For user 2, A is also having the same directory. So the directory name should be same for different users. So it may be same for the different users. And next for user 3, and here user 1 is having dog and user 3 is also having dog. So for say the user can have the same file name for different users. So based on the users can access for their directories in the so and so files. That is what about 2-level file directory. So it is nothing but 2-level file directory, and the searching is very efficient in this method. How we are going to search these files and locate for every file. Next, tree structured directory. The directory is maintained in the form of a tree. The name itself says it is a tree structured directory, so it is the directory maintained in the form of a tree. Searching is efficient and also there is grouping capability. So searching is efficient and also there is a grouping capability. We have absolute or relative path name for each file. So we may have some absolute way of finding the file, or maybe we may find with the path of a file. So these are one directories, and this is another directory, this is another directory, this is another directory, and this directory consists some files, and here this directory consists some file, and this is mapping with another directory, and another directory is having some files, and this is mapping with another directory, this is consists some files. So it is looking like tree structure. So it is, the name itself says it is in the form of a tree. So this is what tree structured directory. So there are three directories. What are they? Single level, 2-level and tree structured directory. These are the file directories. Next, let us see the file allocation methods. How we are going to allocate the methods in the form of file allocation. So there are several methods of file allocation methods. These are mentioned below. So there are several methods. So let us see three methods in this file allocation methods. So what are they? Continuous allocation, non-contiguous allocation or linked allocation, and indexed allocation. So what are the three different file allocation methods? Nothing but continuous allocation, linked allocation or non-contiguous allocation, and indexed allocation. So let us start with our continuous allocation method. What this continuous allocation file method do? So let us see. A single continuous set of blocks is allocated to a file at the time of file creation. So a single continuous set of blocks is allocated to a file at the time of file creation. Thus, this is a pre-allocation strategy using a variable size portion or file allocation, just a single entry for each file, showing the starting block and the length of the file. So first it is used to create a file, and it is used for pre-allocation strategy, and what is the size of the portion, and the file allocation table needs the single entry for each file, and it is showing in the such block of a length of a file. Suppose the file 2 consists some length of 5. So length is 5. So in that case the file starts from 0 and 1 and 2. So it is, the length is 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the continuous allocation table, and here the file 2 starts with here. Why? Because our index is starting from 0. So length is 5. So 2 will start the files from 3, 4, 5. So up to here the allocation will be done. Why? Because it is continuous allocation method. So the files will be continuously allocated up to the length of file. So 5 files will be combined together. This is how we are going to map this. So 5 no. So starting 2, 3, 4, 5 and here. So up to here it will map. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to 6, 2 to 6, the length of the file will be mapped. This method is best from the point of view of the individual sequential file. So this is the best method to finding the individual of a sequential file. Multiple blocks can be read in a time to improve input-output performance for a sequential processing. So whatever the input-output operation is to be performed, that should be performed in a sequential processing. It is also easy to retrieve in a single block. It is also a very easily to retrieve the single block. For example, if a file starts at B block and ith block of the file is wanted, its location on secondary is simply says that B plus I minus 1. So here the block is starting from B block and its ith block is the file wanted. So wanted means b plus I. Then the secondary storage is simply noted as b plus I minus 1. This is what how we are going to allocate this continuous allocation to the each file. So let us see the diagram of this continuous allocation method. So in this continuous allocation method, see the file allocation table, how the each file is starting and how much length it is occupying for each file and how it is allocated with this length. So in previous example here I said 2 with the file 2 starts from with length 5 and we are mapping continuously until 6th file. So why? Because the length is 5. So let us see this diagram and map the file allocation table. So first, file A starting block is 2 and length is 3. So file A, so A is here, okay. So starting block is 2 with the length 3. So it is mapping length 3. So 2, 3, 4. So 3 is the length. So it is continuously mapping with the length 3. This is what continuously allocating each file based on the length. So starting block is 2 and length is 3. So we are mapping 2, 3, 4 with the length 3. Next, file B starting from 9 and the length is 5. So where is file B? So here, the starting from 9. So 9 to what is the length? 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is mapping continuously with 5 files. So this is what how we are continuously allocating the file with the length of each file. Next, C file starting with 18 and the length is 8. So 18 to 25. So 18. So starting from 18. Length is 8. So 8 files will be continuously mapped. So this is what how we are going to map the file allocation method using continuous allocation method. Next, file D starting from 30 to 2. So 30 is 2. So here 2 length. So we are mapping 2. Next, E is 26 with length 3. So 26, 27, 28. So 3 files should be mapped. How we are going to map this? By using continuous allocation method. So the files are continuously allocated. So based on the length, we are mapping continuously for each file based on the length. Next, what are the disadvantages of this continuous allocation? So external fragmentation will occur, making it difficult to find continuous blocks of space of sufficient length. So external fragmentation is done because it is difficult for continuously blocks of space to sufficient length. So if the sufficient length is not satisfied, the block may or may not be free for the space. Next, a compaction algorithm will be necessary to free up additional space on the disk. So a compaction algorithm will be necessary to free up this additional space on the disk. Also, with pre-allocation, it is necessary to declare the size of the file at the time of file creation. So it may be pre-allocate or declare the size of the file at the time of the file creation. This is what how we are going to check out the each file by allocating their size. So these are some disadvantages of continuous allocation. So next, let us see linked allocation method. So linked allocation method is nothing but non-contiguous allocation. In this non-contiguous allocation, allocation in an individual block basis. It is based on individual block basis. Each block contains a pointer to the next block in the chain. So next block, it contains some pointer to the next block is nothing but the pointer maps to the next block. Again, the file table needs just a single entry for each file. So here a file table needs so this is a file table. It takes a single entry to the next file. So this is file 1 and this is file 2. It's just a single entry for each file showing the starting block of length of the file, and it shows some length of the file. Although pre-allocation is possible, it is more common simply allocate blocks as needed. So based on the blocks of files, it is needed. Any free block can be added to the chain. Any file can be added if it is free. And the blocks may need not be continuous. The blocks may not be continuous. And in continuous allocation, the blocks and files are continuous. Here the non-allocation means the blocks or files are free. An increase in file size is always possible if a free disk block is available. So the increase of the file may be possible for their disk block if it is available. There is no external fragmentation because only one block at a time is needed, but there is internal fragmentation. External fragmentation is not possible, but internal fragmentation is possible. But it exists only in the last disk block of the file. It exists in the last disk of the block of the file. Why? Because external is not happening, internal is happening. Why? Because only the last disk block of the file. Next, what are the disadvantages of this linked location or non-continuous allocation? So, internal fragmentation exists in the last block of the file. So, here external is not done, internal is done only in the last disk of the disk block of the file. There is an overhead of maintaining the pointer in every disk block. Why? Because maintaining the pointer means addressing it to the next block. If the pointer of any disk block is lost, the file will be truncated. So, if the file block is lost, here F3 file is blocked, then the block will be truncated. Truncated means it will be deleted permanently. So, the file does not appear. Next, it supports only the sequential access of files. So, sequential access only possible 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, in a sequential order only the files can be accessed. So, these are some disadvantages of linked allocation method. So, next is indexed allocation method. In this indexed allocation method, it addresses many of the problems contiguous and chained allocations. So, it is based on contiguous and it is in the form of chained allocation. In this case, the file allocation table contains a separate one level index for each file. So, it consists some one level of each index file. So, in single level we have seen about one level, here also we are seeing about one level. The index has one entry for each block allocated to that file. So, it is allocated for each only one level or one entry for each block is allocated to each file. The allocation may be done basis on fixed sized block or variable sized block. So, the allocation of the files are fixed or it is variable sized blocks. Either it is fixed size blocks or it is a variable sized blocks. Allocation by block eliminates external fragmentation. Here the allocation is done by eliminating the external fragmentation, whereas allocation by variable size blocks improves locality. So, here external fragmentation blocks are eliminated, only the allocation by variable size of the blocks are improved locality. This allocation technique supports both sequential and direct access. So, it may be accessed in the sequential order or it can be directly accessed to the each file. Thus, this is the most popular form of file allocation. It is most popular, similar to linked and continuous allocation method. This is very popular in the file allocation method. So, let us see the indexing. Here file name, it is an index block. For file B, it is 24. So, file B, it is consisting with 24. So, directly it is accessed or it may be accessed in the sequential. So, it may go from 1, 2, 3, 4 or directly it may access to 24. So, again here 1 is accessed to 8. So, 1 to 8. So, 1 is again accessed. Here 8. So, 8 is again is accessing to this. Again 14. 14 is again accessing to 24. Again 28 is again accessing from 24. So, this is what indexing. Based on this indexing numbers, the file should be allocated in an directly from file to the location, or it is maybe sequential order. That is what how we are going to index this allocation method. So, in this session we have seen about types of directories, So what are types of directories? Single level, 2 level and tree level. So these are the 3 directory structures we have seen. And next we have seen file allocation methods. So what are the file allocation methods? There are 3 types. What are they? Continuous allocation method and linked allocation or non-contiguous allocation method, and last one is indexed allocation method. So these are the 3 file allocation methods we have discussed. If you have any doubts, you can comment in comment box. Thank you.